We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional, unceded lands of the Timucua and the Seminole people. And while we are here to speak of injustices to immigrants, let us recognize that this systemic injustice is a continuation of the same disregard of our humanity that has historically and today directed at Indigenous communities. Even today, the detention center in the Everglades is being built on the sacred land of the Miccosukee and against their consent. Highlighting also that many of the people being targeted for picking up and internment are people with deep roots going thousands of years in this land, but our borders crossed them. Today we are here to shine a light on the latest troubling development. A new internment camp is being constructed at Camp Blanding, only 40 minutes away from here in our backyard. It is being built without public input, transparency, or accountability, and this facility is being built by our taxpayer dollars. It's meant for taxpayer dollars meant for emergency management, diverting the will of the people and their resources that should be used to respond to disasters and protect our communities, but it is now being used to detain immigrants. We cannot and we will not remain silent. This press conference and mini rally are being held to promote our actions that we have rallied around in the last 3 days. We have written two letters, one for community faith leaders to sign on to that we're going to share with decision makers, and one for community-based organizations and individuals. They are available at the table right in front and on our link tree, and we'll happily share that. The QR codes available here. We are honored to have a powerful lineup of speakers helping to uplift our message. Pastor Becca Putnam of Westminster Church will open, speaking to her church's history in standing in solidarity with immigrant communities. Deacon Zelaya is also here. He's a former pastor whose Hispanic congregation closed during the COVID-19 pandemic, and he'll share his lived experiences. And Echo, an activist and resident of Clay County, will speak on the local and historical context of this development. While we welcome media to stay after the rally, after the press conference for the rally, we're going to walk over to a little rally. We understand if you need to leave after the formal press portion, which will last under 30 minutes. Before we begin, a few important notes about safety and our shared principles. This is a peaceful event grounded in non-violence. Please do not engage if any counter-protesters show up. Do not engage, just walk away, do not respond. We have volunteers in vests around here, and please follow their instructions. They're here to help. If you feel unwell, overheated, or need water, we have our fantastic partners PSL available in red shirts to help you. And finally, we ask everyone to stay focused on the purpose of this gathering. Please do not do anything that will distract from our message, which is the most important thing here today. And with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Pastor Becca Putnam of Westminster, whose church, as I said, has deep history of standing in solidarity with immigrant communities and was, in fact, the church that introduced me to this work. Thank you.
Jyoti said, my name is Becca Putman. I've been the pastor of Westminster Presbyterian Church since 2021. Westminster has a proud history of being welcoming and being allies to our immigrant friends and neighbors, including serving as a sanctuary church and welcoming people of all kinds, no matter their immigration status or any other factor. So that is who I am, but I am here today to lend my voice as a faith leader to speak out against the use of Camp Blanding as an immigrant internment camp. I am here to say, not here, not now, not ever. Never. I am a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ, but I hope that you do not need to share my faith to understand the innate dignity that all human beings share. As Jyoti mentioned, there's a letter that faith communities are invited to sign. And it doesn't just quote the Christian Bible. The Hebrew Bible, the Tanakh, the scriptures of Judaism, which Christians also call the Old Testament, commands God's people to love the stranger because they were strangers in Egypt. The Quran instructs the people of Islam not to oppress the stranger, the orphan, or the needy, and reminds us that Allah loves those who act justly. The Bhagavad Gita, a Hindu scripture, places the pursuit of justice and compassion as central to the path of righteousness and states that those who are friendly and compassionate are dear to Krishna. Many religions and spiritualities teach that every human life is valuable, that strangers are meant to be welcomed, and that justice and righteousness is demonstrated by how we treat the most vulnerable. The reality of immigrant internment is not a righteous containment of those who are dangerous or violent. The reality of immigrant detention is the imprisonment of our friends and neighbors, families who have lived here for years, who came to America hoping for a better life. The reality of immigrant internment is that the most vulnerable in our land are held in deplorable conditions for no reason other than cruelty. In no way does this align with any of the sacred traditions I mentioned or with anyone with a moral compass. There is no way. There is no way for an immigrant internment camp to be just or righteous. Not here, not now, not ever. As a Christian minister, I talk about love. It's a message that so many of us need to hear. We need to hear that our Creator loves us, that we are wonderfully made as unique individuals who are inherently worthy of love simply by our existence. We need to hear that we were created good in the image of the God of love. I believe that that is true of each and every person here today, and it is true of every person held in ICE detention centers and internment camps. As someone who worships the God of love, I will not abide to see other people made in that God's image locked away in cages and behind barbed wire. Not here, not now, not ever.
Not here, not now, not ever.
For followers of Jesus, love is also a calling. Loving our neighbors as ourselves is one of the two commandments that Jesus holds up as the most important. When Jesus talks about love, when Holy Scriptures give us instructions about love, it doesn't give us exceptions, a way out, an invitation to love people only if it is easy and comfortable. It doesn't say that you must love your neighbors who are here legally. It says you must love your neighbors, full stop. In fact, over and over again, Jesus loves and heals the outcasts, the people who are considered untouchable and unlovable, the poor and afraid. He upholds the righteousness of those who help those who need it, even when they are different from themselves. In a vision of the final judgment, the Son of Man, the King, the Lord, the one whom Christians worship as Jesus Christ, separates the righteous and the unrighteous. Those who welcomed the stranger were said to have welcomed Jesus himself and are deemed righteous. Those who didn't welcome a stranger are said to be unrighteous and accursed, because by turning away the stranger, they have refused to welcome the Lord in their midst. As someone who worships Jesus, there is no way to welcome the stranger in the name of Christ while simultaneously throwing them into camps and behind bars. Not here, not now, not ever. As a Christian minister, I don't only talk about love, I talk about sin. And sin, to me, is anything that separates us from God. And since God is love, anything that is hateful, cruel, or unneighborly is sinful. In my tradition, we confess our sins together in worship. Many of our sins are individual, but some we recognize as corporate and community and societal sins. As Americans, we have committed a great number of sins in the past. We are creating a great number of sins currently. We cannot change the past, but we can learn from it. And the truth is that one great American sin is the internment of immigrants and people different from ourselves because we were afraid, because we viewed them as a threat, because we didn't trust them. The internment of Japanese, German, and Italian immigrants and citizens during World War II is one of the many sins in our nation's past. We can't change that fact, but we can say, not again, not here, not now, not ever. I'm here today because it is my calling to protect the vulnerable, to care for the oppressed, to stand for what is right and loving, and to stand against that which is unjust and cruel. I am here because I will not abide the creation of one more internment camp in my home, in my state, in my nation. Not here, not now, not ever. Thank you. It is now my great honor. It is now my great honor and privilege to introduce Echo Nova. She is a citizen of Clay County, grew up in Clay County, has lived there for over 20 years, and is an activist and community organizer for many different causes, many of which intersect with this. So we are grateful to be able to hear from her today.
Hello everyone, I am Echo Nova. I am an activist and community organizer doing a whole bunch of things all over the place. But today I am just here as an individual from Clay County because finally ICE is in our backyard. First, I have a personal call to action. To put it bluntly, the Northeast Florida, Southeast Georgia region is quickly and quietly becoming one of the key ICE strongholds in the nation. And this camp landing internment camp is the latest in the government's fear and dehumanization campaign to create imaginary and harmful divisions between people, between humans. And this is just another attempt to scapegoat a group of undervalued people to hide the government's own shortcomings. And we need to let the region know, to let the state know, to let the nation know, and people all around the world that we are fighting back. That there are people in even these small town, largely conservative counties that will not stand for it. We don't want it here, we don't want it anywhere, not now, not ever. I personally invite everyone in Clay County, in Putnam, in Bradford and Union, in Nassau, in Baker, and everywhere else to join this struggle. Get organized, get engaged, get educated, and protect people everywhere. Now it is really important to contextualize what is really happening at this moment in time. The road to this point has been paved with very obvious intentions, and this is just the latest in a long line of militarization in the U.S. For Camp Landing, it was mentioned earlier that this is not the first time that it has been used as an internment camp. During World War II, when Camp Landing was the fourth largest city in Florida and served over 7,500,000 personnel, there was an internment camp holding Japanese, Italian, and German immigrants. And that is a fact that gets very calmly covered up by the much larger German POW camp at the same place. We must remember this fact, as Clay itself has been a hub of military activity and a home for military families since World War II. Being in the middle of the old Cecil Field and NAS Jacks just above the border, Lee Field in Crico Springs, and now Camp Landing. And in fact, likewise for the whole of Northeast Florida, having installations for every branch except the Army, hosting the headquarters of the Florida National Guard in St. Augustine, and being the base for the Navy's 4th Fleet, now South, which watches Central and South America at NS Newport. In the context of ICE and immigration, Northeast Florida has already been the home of Baker Detention Center, which has gotten considerable attention over the past few years. So much so that the ACLU has started a work group to shut down Baker County Detention Center. And just above the border in Georgia, in Folkestone, is the program to refit a federal prison into a detention center for ICE. that will become the largest in the nation. And for the community and police involvement, Florida has 308 287G agreements signed or pending as of yesterday, 5:24 p.m. 12 of those are with universities and colleges, including UNF, and 3 are with airports. I encourage everyone to really consider the implications of what this means. 6 of the 308 are for what's called the jail enforcement model, which gives training on detaining immigrants within county jails. 2 of those 6 are here, 1 in Clay and 1 in Duval. And of those 6, Clay is the oldest JM agreement as well. So as I stated at the beginning, Northeast Florida is quickly and quietly becoming a major hub for ICE. And we have seen that the administrations, both state and federal, only want more and more. So much so that $160 billion is being allocated to immigrant enforcement across various agencies. A bit over $75 billion of that going to ICE directly. To my fellow county citizens and others in small counties, why? To those that support this, why? Why must we keep suffering under this forced imaginary class division? We can choose to shake this off that gets imposed upon us, and we can choose to organize ourselves and build up our communities for ourselves and everyone else. We have the power to fight back. And this small town county in the middle of Northeast Florida, between Florida's Eden here in Gainesville and the bold new city of the South in Jacksonville, along with the rest of the people of the world, is ready to fight for all people's freedom, to love one another and support each other, to lose our chance and win, because it is our duty to win. Well, that is now my honor to introduce the next speaker, Adele. I don't have the bio for her.
Hi, my name is Adela Beckerman. I'm a retired social work faculty and director of the undergraduate social work program at Florida Memorial University in Miami Gardens. I'm also a past president of Temple Shir Shalom Reform Congregation in Gainesville. But today, I'm representing Linda Morris, who couldn't be here because of a conflicting obligation that she couldn't work around. She's the director of JCNCF, the Jewish Council of North Central Florida. JCNCF is an umbrella organization for the varied Jewish communities of Gainesville, Ocala, and surrounding areas. We focus on philanthropic, cultural, and educational activities that enhance the Jewish community locally, regionally, and worldwide. We, the United States, we have to remember, are a nation of immigrants. We are the children, grandchildren, and descendants of immigrants. That's really important to remember. We have entered an era of mean-spirited, heavy-handed, inhumane treatment of immigrants. This is not who we are as a nation or as individuals. The idea of warehousing immigrants is abhorrent. We know what is being planned. Little access to legal representation, breaking up families, inadequate space, resources, and inhumane treatment. And there's talk about these immigrants being put to work for growers, construction companies, and others who cannot manage with immigrant labor. It is ironic that in Alachua County, where so many work really hard to avoid having prisoners serve as slave laborers for the community, that we're setting up a detention center that will in effect do that. How many stories do you read about people in conservative communities being upset because someone they have known for years is being locked up in a detention center or shipped out of the country? Then they have second thoughts. They realize that the strategy is wrong, that it's overkill, brutal overkill of a problem that can be addressed in better ways. The Jewish community knows this all too well. Doors were shut when we were trying to escape Europe before, during, and after World War II and the Holocaust. We were labeled and viewed with anti-Semitic labels and tropes, scorned, ignored, not believed. Ports were closed to our boats of fleeing immigrants. Today, we hear awful, derogatory, inaccurate labels of name-calling about immigrants. This is something that we cannot tolerate in our community. Thank you.
Not now, not here, not ever.
Again.
Not here, not ever.
Not here, not now, not anywhere, not ever. With that, I'd like to invite our next speaker, Jaime Zelaya, and he will introduce himself.
Hello everyone, so good to see this beautiful group here. All that I have to say is thank you very much, all of you guys, for being here, representing people like me. Thank you. My name is Jaime Zelaya. As a way of living, I am a microbiologist, but as a call, I am a pastor. Right now I don't have a church to pastor, but before I was ordained, my dad, who was also a pastor, told me, doesn't matter if you have a church or not, you're gonna be responsible of people, doesn't matter what happens. So that's why I'm here, because even though I don't have a church right now, I am still responsible of the people of God. I'm here not to tell political ideas or anything like that, because I am not that. What I am is a Christian. And all that I can talk is about that. I always say in this special event that invite pastors or preachers is a really bad idea because we talk too much. And that's our problem. But I'm gonna try to be short today. Some years ago, I met this guy named Carlos. He came to United States in a very difficult situation, and he told me this story. And his eyes turned watery, and there is no doubt that what he was saying was true. He told me, when I came to United States, I get in a tunnel. I was walking in the dark between water. And when I finally see the light, I saw the officers waiting for us and for me especially, because there were just a couple of them outside. We knew that they are waiting for us. He told me, we wait. And we start praying. And he says, I don't know from where, it started raining. And that rain gets so strong, so much water, so much thunders, that the officers decide to go away. He told me, I believe that was a miracle. I believe that God answered my prayer and he helped me to get it in this country. This guy is a good person. I can tell you. He came to United States to work. He came to United States and after start working, start his own company, make the money that he needed to go back to his country in Guatemala. And you know, now he has a store over there, a convenience store with tools and agricultural stuff. And now he is planning to run as a mayor of his small town. I'm not talking about somebody who has a big education, just a person who wants to do something with his life. I'm telling you, today, miracles are every day. They are here. They are here with you guys. You guys are our miracle because you decide to be here. Miracles, they are here even though we don't see them. I'm talking about miracles. Those miracles happen and they are real. I also have another story. Today I want to be like the voice of those ones who are not here to tell what happened with their life. Because it's more difficult to understand and to feel empathy with no faces, just addressing the problem. Here I am to present those faces. Some years ago, I met this woman who I am still in touch because it's family now. She's from my country. And we talk about the situation with the children on the border. And we talk about that because she was one of them. I heard many people saying, there is no way that I'm gonna send my children alone in that kind of adventure. And I always say, wait a minute, give thanks to God because you never have to take that decision. Because imagine what kind of situation parents have to take so much drastic decision to send your children, little boys, little girls, by themselves to cross a border with people who are not really good and believe that they are going to be in the United States one day. Imagine how bad is the situation that make you think that here in their countries, they're going to be dead. But if they move over there to the United States, there is a chance. Maybe kids are going to die in the process, but there is a chance to survive. If we stay, they're going to die. They're going to die. She told me the story, how her mother decided to take her to the United States by herself, all the situation, difficult situation that she lived. And after a while, she started telling me that she blamed her mother. So after talking many times, we say, you know, maybe you have to reconsider that. Because imagine how would be your life if you stay in your country. And we start talking about people that she knows are still in the country. And she said, yes, that would be very different. Because right now, she is a retired Army force. She already got a bachelor's degree. She's working in a federal office. That life wouldn't be possible if the mother decides to leave the girl in her country. That's why I'm here. Some years ago, I visited this small town back in my country. Really poor, the kind of poverty that we don't see here in the United States. I saw houses made of plastic bags, cardboard, and in a moving situation, and I asked my friend, how can we help these people? Of course, as any one of us, I was thinking about bring some food, some materials, things like that. The answer was a surprise. He told me the best way to help people is giving them hope. You guys here today, that's what you are doing. Giving hope to the ones in need. Giving hope to the ones that have no other hope than you guys. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Hello all. My name is Ethan Maya Denny Dell. I'm a coordinator for the Gainesville Immigrant Neighbor Inclusion Initiative. And as a second generation American and first generation Floridian, I've spent my life learning about the histories of my parents and their families, as well as the histories of this new country we are now a part of. Centuries ago, indigenous peoples like the Timucua and Potano lived on this land, but with colonization came a brutal displacement of these communities. Their lands, their cultures, and their ways of life were stolen in the name of expansion and profit. Growing up here, I've always been struck and surrounded by how surrounded we are by the indigenous names of towns and reserves that have been stripped of their history and context by an agenda that only serves those in power. However, we must realize that this is not just our state and nation's history, it is also our present. The same cruel agenda of dehumanization and erasure is in full play with the Everglades internment camp being constructed on the sacred land of the Miccosukee tribe. Camp Blanding internment camp is being constructed on historic Floridian nature preserve? When did we, as people, or as Floridians, approve of these inhuman scars on the land? Those in power use lies to justify this cruel agenda. We are being told to fear our immigrant neighbors, that our safety and well-being as a country is under threat by those who have sought the security and promise of our great country. Immigrants seeking refuge are being disappeared every day on the very land that once belonged to the ancestors of those who were displaced. Our basic rights are being taken from us in real time, whether you happen to be an immigrant or a citizen who's been deemed by the powerful to be unworthy of those rights. To add insult to injury, our own taxes, along with the state's emergency management funds meant to help rebuild communities suffering from disasters like hurricanes, are being used to fund the construction of these atrocities in our name. As a Floridian, I am sickened by this, and as a person, I am outraged. Today, we are all a witness to this pattern of injustice repeating itself once again. We must confront and break this cycle if we are to honor both the land and the people who inhabit it, whether indigenous or immigrant, and ensure that history does not repeat itself. Thank you.
Fantastic. And with that, we conclude our press conference, and we're going to walk over to the county courthouse to have a little rally. I'd like to make the point that we're here at the federal courthouse because it is a federal push that has been putting us in this condition, and the federal court system has been failing us. We are now going to move over to the county courthouse and call for our county officials and all local people, decision makers, to step up and do what the rest of the federal system is not being able to do. Stand up for immigrant rights, stand up for human rights, and stand up for America. Thank you.